The new Mean Girls movie debuted at #1 at the weekend box office. Of course it did. Tina Fey's involved, 20 years after the original hit the theaters. Now, the new musical film is based on both the Mean Girls Broadway show and the 2004 movie. I remember it well. Tina Fey reprises her role as math teacher Mrs. Norbury. Here's a look at when the movie's main character, Katie, not Caddy, is first introduced to her classmates.
May I have everyone's attention, please? Eyes to the front of the room. You may notice we have a new student joining us today. She just moved here from Kentucky.
Kenya.
Kenya. Her name is Caddy.
It's Katie. Katie Heron.
My apologies. I will commit that to memory. KD, like the Canadian songstress KD Lang, and Heron, like the illegal street drug. Thank you, Caddy.
It's Katie.
Katie, hi. I'm Ms. Norbury. I'll be your homeroom teacher. This is your roster. I see you also have you for AP Calculus. You must have had excellent teachers at your old school.
Oh, I was homeschooled.
Homeschooled? Oh, that's a fun way to take jobs from my union. No, I'm joking. It's fine.
We recently spoke with Tina Fey about the new movie and Lindsay Lohan's surprise cameo. Tina Fey, good morning to you.
Good morning, Gayle.
We are
How
so
you?
glad you're here.
I'm always happy to see you.
So I was flying cross-country the other day, and Mean Girls was on, and I knew that I was going to be doing something. So I watched it again, and I watched it years ago, 20 years. Right. And I'm cracking up out loud that the flight attendant came and said, "May I ask what you're watching?" I said, "I'm watching Mean Girls." So then I watched the new version in 2024, and I'm wondering, as you were putting it together, what you thought. We did this back then, and now we have to do this. What was your thinking?
Well, we were bringing it to 2024, so some things are updated, some things are left behind, and, you know, making a musical version, we wanted to take sort of the tentpole songs from the Broadway show, but kind of put them back into a fluid, cinematic universe. So, I mean, it was kind of it's a real gift to get to go back to something that you wrote and reopen it and clean the gums.
And I really did like clean the gums. I really did like the music when I was watching on the plane and then looked at you now. Honestly, I know people say this, but you haven't changed. You physically haven't changed. Do you feel differently?
Do I feel differently? I don't know. I mean, I was in the edit room for this movie, and so, like, to actually have to be looking at it.
You weren't in the edit room for the first one?
I wasn't in the edit room for the first one because I was just a first-time screenwriter then, you know.
Oh,
but,
okay.
you know, it's hard not to see where your face is different. But I keep saying if I just leave my face alone long enough, eventually they'll give me an Oscar just for having an old face.
No, you look fantastic. Did you enjoy the experience making it as a musical? This isn't. It started as a movie, goes to Broadway as a musical, and then comes back on screen. Were you nervous about how it would be received? Because this is very hard to do.
It is hard to do. I mean, you know, the nice thing about 53 is, like, I'm a honey badger at this point. Like, how it's received, I don't care. Like, I want to see how the audience receives it. But we knew that, you know, the Broadway show brought so much joy to so many people, and we only closed because the pandemic came.
Because of COVID,
Yeah, and I just knew there was more joy to be had, and I wanted more people to experience this. I felt like there was nothing but joy to be had on the other side of this.
You know, it was a pleasant surprise to see Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
And I thought, how did you guys pull that off, that you could do that and it didn't leak? It was really nice to see her.
Yes, by now the cat's out of the bag.
Was that your idea?
I think
yes, it was.
I mean, I was certainly in the mix on it. The original movie is really Lindsay's movie, you know. She's just luminous through it, and I was so glad that she was willing to come all the way from Dubai. She was pregnant.
She came from Dubai?
She came from Dubai. She was 7 months pregnant. She looks gorgeous.
Yes.
And I thought, you know, if she was going to do anything, I thought it might be nice to have her come kind of late in the movie when you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think you've almost forgotten that you're looking for cameos.
Yes. And can I just say on a personal, would you please come back and host the Golden Globe? Is that something you and Amy are so great at it?
That's so nice of you.
You know, and we just went through the Golden Globes. I love that Steve Martin has come out in support of Joe Coy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people realize how hard that is to do. And he had 10 days to get it together.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a tough room. They don't know you. And the other thing about it is you don't get to practice it. You're doing your jokes in a vacuum. You don't get a dress rehearsal. You know, SNL, you get a dress rehearsal.
Oh, that's right.
So you go in thinking like, well, do I do more jokes than I need, or do I cut it down too lean? You know, it's a tough room, and you did great. Like, it's also so thankless because it's like either, there's only two ways it goes. Either people say like, great, do it again. Or they go, we didn't like it. And there's no in between.
Yeah. And to his credit, he said, look, nobody goes out there intending not to do a good job.
Exactly.
But when you and Amy do it, though, no one is saying, I hope those two never come back. No, seriously.
Well, it's definitely nice to have a buddy.
Yeah.
Because even then, if you have a joke that doesn't land, you can just look to your buddy like, woo, that was that one. Yeah.
Maya Angelou told me something once, Tina, that whether something is really great or really bad, the word you can always use is indeed.
Indeed.
Isn't that good? And that just covers everything.
Indeed.
That just covers everything.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, Mean Girls musical. Indeed.
Indeed. Oh, wait a minute. What does that mean?
No, that's a bona fide hit. That's a bona fide hit. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's good, too. Mean Girls at Paramount Pictures production is in theaters now.